Kia ora everyone and welcome to today's webinar, 7 Ways to Grow Your Business. My name is Christina Henare. I am the, sorry guys, I'm the Client Services Manager here at Montec Carter. I'm going to be overseeing the running of this webinar and taking care of any questions that you might have. We will answer these at the end of the webinar. Before we go any further, we'll just cover a few things on the Zoom tools that we have. If you click on the bottom to select your speakers, just to test and make sure that they are working. Any questions that you might have, just pop through the Q&A at the bottom and we'll, of course, like I said, get to them at the end of the meeting. If you do need to leave the meeting at any time, please use the Leave Now button and you can also rejoin using the link. Without further ado, we do have Michael who is taking care of our webinar today. So Michael is an associate here at Montec Carter. So without further ado, welcome Michael.
Thanks, Christina, and welcome everybody. As Christina has said, my name is Michael Tobeck and I'm an associate here at Montec Carter. Those of you who have worked with me will know I'm not your typical accountant. My passion is helping small businesses to not just survive, but thrive. And I do this through combining my experience in both commercial and public accountancy roles alongside building long-lasting relationships with my clients. On that note, it is my pleasure to be presenting this webinar today on the 7 ways to grow your business. Let's get straight into it. So I'd like to kick things off with some wise words from the session from Thomas Jefferson. If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. These words were written about 230 years ago. They're as true today as they were then. This session today is about challenging you to do something different in your business so you can get results that you've never had before. So before we get stuck in, I just want to throw in our usual disclaimer. The information in this educational webinar is general in nature and no substitute for tailored advice specific to your particular circumstances. One of the biggest problems in small businesses is FTI, or failure to implement. If you don't write your actions down, you won't remember them. Just like if you don't write down your business goals for the next year, you'll be far less likely to achieve them. We want you to get maximum value from this webinar. So if you have any questions, please submit them at any time. In this session, we're going to cover how you need to make the choice to change and how to develop a roadmap and dashboard for your business. We'll then get into the 7 ways to grow your business, and I'll show you a worked example which demonstrates how you can make seamlessly small adjustments to your business, but the compound effect on the bottom line and cash flow can be very significant. Then it's accountability time, when you have to decide what actions you're going to take as a result of coming along today. If you have any questions during the webinar, send them through and we'll make sure they're answered at the end. So we've been through a lot recently, and it's likely you know you need to make some changes in your business. Change won't just happen on its own. You have to make the choice to change. You have to you're in control of how you respond to these recent crises. There are generally 5 steps in the process. The first is being aware that you need to change. It's unlikely your business has been able to continue as normal, and changes will need to be made. The next step is to accept that you need to change. It may not be easy, but the alternative of not changing won't be easy either. Okay, so now you've accepted change is needed and you need to take action. What steps do you need to take to enable this change? Most people get stuck here. They may respond to immediate actions while in crisis mode, but fail to take the actions required. To make sure you do take action, accountability is essential. Being held accountable by someone independent really does make things happen. And finally, take time to acknowledge the change you've actioned. Take your team on the journey and ensure that you keep giving positive reinforcement throughout. So before you can make a plan for where you want your business to go, you must first understand where your business is now. That is your point A. The impact of COVID-19 means that it's likely you're further away from your destination than you would have been previously. That is point B, and point B may be harder to get to now. It's likely your original point B is still possible. It may just take longer, or the route to get there might look a little different. For example, before COVID, your point A may have been a $50,000 overdraft, and your goal was to reach point B of having $50,000 cash in the bank within 12 months. So you'd have to increase your bank account by $100,000 to reach point B. But what does point A in your business look like now? Maybe you had to extend your overdraft by another $25,000 to cover your expenses over lockdown. So point A is now actually $75,000 overdraft, and the journey to point B is increasing the cash in your account by $125,000. That might not be realistic. It might be more realistic to aim to reach point B in 2 years instead of 1 year. But do you know what point A looks like in your business? And what is your goal for point B? What does the journey to get there look like? So now you know where you are as a result of COVID, and you know where you want to go. You need to revise your plan. This could be reviewing and updating your existing business plan, or it could be developing a business recovery plan. If the impact on your business has been minimal, it's likely an update to your business plan would be your best option. However, if your business has been significantly impacted, we recommend a business recovery plan. This will help you revise your personal budget to reduce the pressure on your business's cash flow, determine whether any additional finance is needed, and revise your business budget and break-even analysis. You'll also establish your most critical KPIs to monitor at this time and identify opportunities, vulnerabilities, and critical challenges that you face. You'll then identify risks in each department of your business, as well as mitigation strategies. From this, you'll then set an annual and 90-day goals to ensure you achieve your plan. When working out your budget, start with the profit you need your business to deliver you, and then work your way up to the determined required sales level. For example, in the past, $150,000 might have been your target profit for your business to deliver what you want. Being in lockdown may have shown you that you can live on less. So after revising your personal budget, you may be able to reduce your profit target to $130,000 to reduce pressure on your business. Your overheads were $350,000, but after leaving no stone unturned when reviewing expenses, you might be able to trim this down to say $325,000. So this gives us a gross profit target of $455,000. If we want to keep our gross profit percentage at 39%, we would need to achieve sales of $1,166,667. While this is lower than our previous target, we may need to have a more brutal look at our expenses to ensure our goal is attainable in the current climate. Of course, you'll need to develop this in more detail. You then need to break this down into monthly targets and monitor these to make sure you're on track. So now you know where you're going and what you want to achieve, it's time to set up your dashboard. The dashboard on your car shows you how fast you're going, how much fuel you have left, and the temperature of your engine. It gives you an indication about whether you'll make it to your destination. It's the same in a business. The things on your business's dashboard are key performance indicators, or KPIs. Essentially, they're measures which tell you if you're tracking on achieving your plan or not. Your dashboard should show you the top 4 or 5 measures which drive most of your business's improvement. Focusing on a small number of KPIs allows you to capture, monitor, report, and improve them on a regular basis. Your most important KPIs will depend on the type of business you have, as well as your goals. For example, a manufacturer's most important KPIs might be gross profit percentage, cost of rework, work in progress days, or debtor days. A retailer's KPIs might be sales, gross profit percentage, average client spend, and transaction frequency. It's important you determine which KPIs you should be measuring, set goals for improvement, and establish a dashboard to regularly monitor how you're progressing. When you set goals, do you have someone to hold you accountable for what you have committed to? What are the key consequences for you if you don't achieve your goals? Do you have a soft coach or a hard coach? Remember the 5 A's of change. One of them was accountability. You simply must have someone independent hold you to account to your actions, and there should be consequences for inaction. Having your spouse hold you to account generally doesn't work. Independence is key. So to summarize, if your business is the vehicle that delivers to you what you want in life, the top 4 things you need to do to make sure you get to your destination are: set an annual plan, set an annual budget, set and measure your 4 to 5 most important KPIs, and then finally have someone independent hold you to account for your plan. So before we get started on the 7 ways to grow your business, it's important for you to understand the marketing flywheel. This concept shows how to attract, engage, and delight customers, and demonstrates that you shouldn't just focus on gaining new customers, but that you should focus on delighting your current customers as well. First, we have strangers, people who haven't heard about our business. We can do some marketing to introduce our business to these strangers, who will then become prospects, who have the opportunity to buy. When those prospects make a purchase, they become customers. And if we treat them right, these customers will become promoters. The more promoters we have, the more people we have to speak to strangers about our business. And so the cycle continues. Now, in order to attract prospects to our business, we need to provide value before we extract value. Think about what they'll get from doing business with you and the problems that you can solve for them. To convert prospects into customers, we must engage them by making it as easy as possible for them to buy from us. Our marketing is what attracts and engages prospects and turns them into customers. Our sales process should ensure customers continue to be engaged and are followed up with really good service. Delighted customers will share their feedback with strangers, creating more prospects, customers, and promoters. The level of service we provide determines how we will delight and attract current and future customers. The aim is to keep the marketing flywheel spinning as fast as possible. Converting more strangers into prospects and prospects into customers, and providing such good service that those customers become promoters. Following this process is essential to growing any business. Okay, so moving on to the 7 ways to grow your business. The first way to grow your business is to increase your customer retention rate. It's much cheaper to make sales to existing customers. In fact, statistics show that it's 6 times easier and cheaper to make sales to existing customers than it is to new customers. By delighting our customers, we make them want to return, therefore increasing our customer retention rate. What do you do to delight your customers? Follow the FGG principle to delight your customers. Find out what they want, go get it, and give it to them. The second way to grow your business is to generate more leads. The best way to generate more leads is to delight your customers so they become promoters and provide you with more leads. You can't purely rely on your existing customers to do your marketing for you. So you must attract strangers using your marketing strategies and by providing value. This may be a free download on your website or a free trial or consultation. Show them the problems you'll solve if they engage you in their service. Moving on to number 3. So the third way to grow your business is to increase your conversion rate. Do you measure how successful you are at converting leads, quotes, and proposals into sales? Do you regularly review why you aren't converting more? You should be monitoring the conversion rates of all members of your sales team. If some are performing better than others, find out why. Are you using the right people in the sales process? A key to successfully converting sales is to ensure you're dealing with a decision maker. Don't deal with gatekeepers. Get straight to the people who can make things happen. You should also offer a range of options so that the questions become, what options should I buy, rather than should I buy? The fourth way to grow your business is to increase your transaction frequency. As I said earlier, it's much harder to sell to new customers than it is to sell to existing customers. So it makes sense to encourage those customers to buy from you more often. You can do this by sending reminders, introducing VIP cards, or offering special deals to existing customers. Number 5 is to increase your transaction value. This doesn't necessarily mean increasing your prices. Think about how you could add more value to your customers. Could you provide them with a range of options? Is it clear what your business offers? Don't assume they already know. Tell them. Follow the, would you like fries with that concept? Adapt this to your business. Try not to offer a discount unless the customer has purchased an add-on. The 6th way to grow your business is to reduce your variable costs. These are the costs which increase as sales increase, such as direct labor, cost of materials, or sales commission. Implementing better systems to accurately record time and material used, as well as implementing strategies to reduce rework or wastage, will help you to reduce your variable costs. And finally, the final way to grow your business is to reduce your overheads. These are your fixed costs like your phone, power, rent, or office supplies. How often do you review your overheads? It should normally be done annually. However, if you haven't already reviewed them as part of your recovery plan, you should do so now. Go through your annual financial statements on your Xero and identify overheads you could potentially reduce. You may be able to negotiate better terms for your utilities and rent, or reduce the amount of office supplies being used. It could even stretch as far as reducing office space if that's an option for you. While we're on the subject, let's talk about accounting fees. We're telling you to reduce your costs. So if you think we're a cost, then you should cut us now. But if you want to work with us as a strategic partner in your business, then you need us now more than ever. Think of us as an investment rather than a cost. Our goal is to save you more in tax or help you grow your business way more than any extra you may pay in accounting fees. So moving on to the growth equation. The growth equation is a calculator we use to show how small changes can have a big impact on profit. By monitoring your KPIs, you can set goals for improvement. The calculator shows you the 7 ways to grow your business in action. For efficiency during the webinar, we've used screenshots of the calculator. We can sit down with you and run your numbers to see the impact small changes will make for your business and determine goals for improving your KPIs to achieve that new profit. Let's have a look at the current KPIs and profit for this example company. Then I'll show you the impact that small changes make on the profit and value of the business. Now, please note that the numbers have all been rounded in case anyone is trying to do the calculations in their head. So this company had 765 customers with a retention rate of 85%, giving them an average of 650 retained customers. They received 145 inquiries with a conversion rate of 50%, which gives them a total of 723 customers. Each customer, on average, makes 1.1 transactions per year, with an average transaction value of $1,560. This results in annual sales of $1.24 million. Their cost of goods sold is 70%, and their overheads expenses are $265,000. This leaves them with a net profit of $107,000. To demonstrate the increase in the value of the business, we've used a very basic valuation multiplier of 3 times the profit in this calculator. This isn't actually how we would value a business, but it does provide a very rough guide. So let's say the current value of this example business is just over $320,000. So what changes could this business make to improve its profit and therefore its value? The first way to grow your business is to increase your customer retention rate, as we saw. So let's say this business implements a customer loyalty program and creates a customer Facebook group. This results in an increase in the retention rate from 85% to 90%. So they now retain an additional 39 customers. They receive the same number of inquiries, but due to the impact of COVID-19, their conversion rate drops to 45%. This means they only acquire 65 new customers during the year. Their total number of customers is now 754. The customer loyalty program means the customers now make an average of 1.3 transactions per year and spend an extra $40 per transaction. So sales have now increased to almost 1.56 million. If the business is able to negotiate better terms with their suppliers or improves their inventory process, cost of goods sold might reduce to 65%. These changes to the KPIs came about due to additional coaching from their accountant, for example. This means that expenses have increased, as well as the additional investment in their accountant. There was also an increase in wages costs, so expenses increased by a total of $35,000. This gives a new profit of $248,730, an increase of $141,000. The valuation, using the very basic valuation multiplier of 3 times the profit, has an increase to $425,000. So as you can see, the business only had to make very small changes, but more than doubled their net profit. By focusing on delighting your customers, you retain more of them, and they're more likely to buy from you more often and spend more when they do buy from you. Now, do remember, this is just an example client, and your numbers will obviously be very different. We can obviously meet up with you to input your numbers into our growth calculator to work out the impacts those small changes could have on your business. So as Albert Einstein famously said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. We all know this, right? So what do we have to do differently this year? Well, we have these 4 choices. 1, we could do nothing. That was a nice webinar. Yes, I know I should probably do something differently, but change seems a bit too hard. Number 2, we could retreat. I might try a couple of things, but have had a couple of bad days in the business, so I'll retreat. Number 3, we can take normal amounts of action. I do a few easier things here and there and get some quick cash flow improvement, but I haven't really fundamentally changed my business. So those quick wins evaporate along with the quick cash. Or finally, we can take massive amounts of action. I want to fundamentally change my business because it's here to serve me and not the other way around. So as the old saying goes, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. We know that's not possible in the current environment. If you do what you've always done, you'll get less than what you used to get. So as we mentioned before, the information in this educational webinar is general in nature and no substitute for specific tailored advice and support. There are several ways that we can help you more specifically beyond today's webinar. Firstly, if you don't already have a business plan, we can work with you to develop yours over a half-day session. If you need a bit of accountability to ensure you're on track to achieving your goals, we can meet with you quarterly to review and reset the goals and actions in your business plan. We do offer other coaching options if you prefer more frequent accountability coaching. Get in touch and we can have a conversation about that. Now, we're also offering all attendees the opportunity to complete a 7 ways to grow your business action list. This allows you to identify the actions you can take to grow your own business. We'll then have a 15-minute complimentary call where we'll review your completed action list and ensure you've identified all the actions relevant to your business and that you have a plan to implement those changes. And finally, we offer our clients a 1-hour complimentary meeting each year. And if you're not yet a client, we offer a 1-hour complimentary meeting to establish if we're the right fit for you. So at this point, I'd like to ask if there's any questions from anyone attending the webinar today.
I've got a couple of questions, Michael.
Yes.
As a builder, is there any point in setting a budget when we can't guarantee when a job will be completed?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the point here is that a budget is not necessarily about, getting the exact result. A budget is about setting an expectation, and that's really what it comes back to. So if you've got an idea of where you want to get to and you're putting a budget in place to do that, I think that's a really important first step. Yes, you might not reach it, but what it does is it sets a I guess a target and ensures that you're working towards that target. And even if you don't quite reach it, at least you've progressed towards it rather than doing nothing at all.
Oh, and another one that I have here is, what would be a reasonable price increase at the moment?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I guess it really depends on the industry you're in. I mean, we're looking at, inflation around that sort of 5 to 6%, which a lot of people are looking at as a way to increase price. But then you've got to think about wage increases. You've got to think about cost of freight and other things for certain industries. So obviously it is very different for every industry. I think the important thing here to recognize is that as long as you're open with your customers, most people are pretty understanding. They're aware of the conditions that the economy is in right now, and they will understand that businesses need to put their prices up. So I think as long as you're open with that communication, you're not likely to face too much of a backlash.
Cool, that's all I have for you.
Excellent. Thank you. Oh, I've skipped. So just a parting thought before we go. Make a simple plan today. Commit to at least 3 actions you'll take as a result of today's webinar. Write them down. Give each of them an owner and a completion date. Remember, if you need our support, we are here for you. Thanks for making your time to attend this webinar. We appreciate that your time is very valuable. If you could please complete the brief exit survey following the session so we can continuously improve and get your feedback on what other webinar topics you'd like to see from us. We hope we've given you plenty of ideas to ponder and some clear next steps for you to take for your business. I'll pass it now back to you, Christina. Christina?
Oh, shoot. Sorry, I was on mute.
That's all right.
Thanks, Michael. It was very insightful, and I hope you all found something that you can take away from today's webinar. Don't forget, there is a survey attached to the end, as Michael said, and if you can please complete that, it does help us give our clients what they need. Otherwise, thank you for joining, and have a great day.